Caption Close Mosul, Iraq, AP. The young man ended up on the morgue's examining table in two parts. He had been seized for selling cigarettes, a crime usually punished by flogging by the Islamic State group extremists who had occupied Mosul. But while he was being whipped, he shouted a curse insulting religion. On the spot, they cut off his head for blasphemy. Sameh Ali Za'i, the 35-year-old medical assistant examining him, was sick of seeing Mosul's youth butchered for the slightest reason. The man was a newlywed. His family was waiting outside. It was one of the occasional times when the fanatics allowed the return of someone killed by the group. So Ali Za'i violated the rules. He picked out some thick thread and quickly sewed the man's head back on, then zipped him up in the body bag. He could sew a head back on a body in 4 minutes. The family quietly thanked him. The morgue in the northern Iraqi city of Mosul was where atrocity met bureaucracy, the processing point for the machine of butchery that the Islamic State group created across its territory in Iraq and Syria. Every day, the doctors and staff witnessed the worst of what the militants were capable of inflicting on a human being, constantly fearing they could be next. Yet the morgue men of Mosul found ways large and small to defy their captors by honoring the dead as best they could. "Our profession as doctors is all about humanity," said the morgue's senior examiner, Motor Al-Omari. They were doing the exact opposite. The staff sometimes faced up to 60 or even 100 corpses a day. As pickup trucks laden with bodies did three-point turns to back through the morgue's gates, hands, legs or heads fell off onto the ground. Some were the mangled bodies of civilians and IS fighters killed in bombardment by the US-led coalition or fighting with Iraqi troops. Others bore the marks of IS brutal enforcement of its radical version of Islamic law. A broken skull on a man with internal bleeding could mean he was thrown from a rooftop, the punishment for those suspected of being gay. A woman with a split skull from a blunt force was likely stoned to death, the sentence for accused adulterers. Then there were punishments for spying or blasphemy, a gunshot wound through the head or decapitation. Convinced its caliphate was here to stay, the Islamic State group was keen on keeping records like a government. As they put together death certificates, the examiners quietly documented IS atrocities. They surreptitiously put an Arabic letter Aleph to mark a member of the group, and an M, the first letter in the Arabic word for executed, for the group's victims. Hyperlink https://appnews.com/93F0C1B8355040F99053 ed. 7F0474740 Mosul is a graveyard. Final is battle kills 9,000 civilians. One Excel sheet shows more than 1,200 people shot in the head, a likely sign of IS executions, between June 2014 when IS took over Mosul and January 2017, when Iraqi forces were fighting to take the city back, an average of 11 a week. The list has 12 women marked as stoned to death. It also lists 95 people who were beheaded and 50 men and boys who died from a fall from a height, likely hurled from rooftops. The staff operated under close scrutiny by IS officials and threat of punishment if they broke the rules or tried to leave.